Since spring is here and Easter just a few days away, I want to show you how you can make your own beautiful Easter lily bouquet using paper and items you probably already have around your house. Plus, this will be a fun craft you can also do with your kids. For this project, you can use coffee filters and/or copy paper or construction paper. We'll be using cotton swabs, watercolor paint, crayons, scissors, flexible wire, and to put everything together, you can use craft glue or the hot glue gun. Okay, I want to start by making the inside parts of this lily flower. So I'm using cotton swabs to make something that looks like the stamen and the pistil. I'll be using 7 swabs per lily. I'm going to start by cutting the bottom swab off each. And with the 7 swab, I'm going to take 3 of the swab heads, glue those together, and then glue them on top of one of the cut off swabs. This one will be my center pistil, and the other pieces will be the stamen around it. Okay, so I have enough swabs for about 6 lilies, and I separated the pieces. I want to make a lily that looks like this, white petals with yellow inside. So I'm going to color these center pieces to match my photo. If you're a crafter or you have kids, you probably already have a little watercolor set hanging around the house. I got this from Dollar Tree a while back. I mixed a little yellow and orange, and I'm painting the tips of each of the swabs. And for the middle pistil pieces, I'm painting that a light green. I'm also painting the stems of all the pieces a light green color. Now, if you don't have paint, you can also use crayons to add color to these. This is the difference between the two. Now, after the paint is dried, if you painted them, you want to assemble these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the yellow pieces, the stamen, just a little below the centerpiece, the pistil. And you're going to glue those all the way around, all 6 pieces. Now I'm using hot glue for this, but if you're working with kids and want to use regular glue, you can use regular glue. It'll just take a little longer to dry. Or you could have the kids paint the pieces and you can assemble them. And after the glue is dry, you want to bend each yellow piece from the top out into a slight curve around the center. Then you'll have something that looks like the inside parts of our lily flower. Now to make the petals for this, I'm using white coffee filters. I'm going to pull out 3 coffee filters and fold them in half. And then I'm going to draw a petal shape in the center, something like this. And I'm going to cut it out. And I'm cutting right inside the line so that my line won't show up on my paper. Next, I'm going to fold those petals in half so that I have a crease right down the center of the petals. I'm going to separate all of those, and this will give me 6 petals. Now you could use hot glue for this, but this time I'm going to use some craft glue. And I'm going to take 2 petals, and starting from the bottom, I'm going to glue them together at about a 60-degree angle. And I'm going to glue a 3rd petal right on top in the center of each of those. And I want to make sure my glue is mostly at the bottom. Now I have something that looks like this. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the last 3 petals, so that I have 2 sets of 3 petals. Now I want to glue and wrap the bottom part of the petals around the bottom portion of one of my centerpieces. I'm starting with 1 set of petals, and I'm going to glue that almost completely around the base and about 1/2 of an inch up from the base. Then I'm gluing the other set of petals in front of the first set, making sure that the center petal lines up with the other center petal. I'm adjusting it to make sure the petals are spaced pretty evenly, and I'm pinching the bottom all the way around. Next, I'm going to use this pencil just to curl the tips of the petals to give it a more realistic look. And now I have a pretty simple recreation of the head of my Easter lily flower. Now, if you don't have coffee filters, you can also use copy paper. Just take 3 sheets of paper, fold it in half, then fold it in half again. Then I'm going to open it and cut it on the fold. I'll get 6 petals from each half, so I'll just set one half aside to save for the next flower. So just like I did with the coffee filters, I'm going to draw a petal shape in the center of the paper and then cut that out. Now before you glue those together, you can paint them or have the kids color each petal. Print out different types of lilies so you can give the kids creative ideas. Then they can be assembled the same way as the coffee filter flowers. Now of course the copy paper is a stiffer paper and the coffee filter is more delicate. Here's the difference between the two. This is one that I painted with watercolor with coffee filter, and the one on the right is with copy paper and crayons. Now a bouquet of tulips usually has quite a few flower heads that have not opened yet, so I want to recreate those also. To do this, I'm going to begin by going through the same few steps I did to create the open flower. I'm cutting out 6 petals, gluing those together in 3s, but instead of gluing the petals around the center parts of the flower, I'm going to roll up the excess pieces that I cut out to make a little ball, and then I'm going to glue the petals around that. And then I'll gather all the petals and close them up by putting a little dab of glue at the bottom and at the top petals, and I'm going to squeeze those closed. And like I mentioned, you could use the hot glue or you could use the Elmer's or craft glue for this. I'm also going to fold some creases all the way around to make this look more like the real thing. Now to make the stems for my flowers, I'm using wire that I got from Dollar Tree a while back. You can cut a few pieces to the length that you want the flower. I'm going to push this into the bottom of the flower head and add a little bit of hot glue to keep it in place. Now I'm going to tear off some of the scrap paper from the cutouts and brush some glue on the wire to roll the paper around the wire. Then I used the watercolors to paint all the stems green. I also painted the stems and the tops of the closed flowers green. At the tips I added a little more color like yellow and pink to help match the open flowers. Now to make some leaves, I think I'm going to use green construction paper. I'll fold it a couple of times to make as many leaves as I can. I'm going to draw a leaf shape and then cut it out. I can use the rest of the paper to make smaller leaves too. Then I'll glue a few leaves to the stems. And the same for the closed flowers. If you're going to make an arrangement in a glass vase, make sure you glue leaves all the way down to the bottom of the stem. That way the flowers will look more natural through the glass. Now these flowers look really pretty in the glass vase, but I think I want to arrange my paper flowers in my paper vase. I made these 2 paper mache vases out of newspaper and poster board. Click on the link above to see how I made these. This round one is really pretty, but I think I might use the tall one for my white lilies. Yes, I think these look really beautiful in here. And for my pink colored flowers, I think I have the perfect vase. This one I got a while back but never used it. It's a really heavy artsy piece, and the colors will really complement the pink flowers. I made these coffee filter tulips last year for my table, but now I'm going to replace them with my big new arrangement. Now I can brighten up my home for Easter and the rest of the season with beautiful homemade spring lilies. Check out my new Etsy store where you can get some of the very projects made on this show. I also added new project guide booklets with full color step-by-step instructions for some of your favorite projects, including the Bohemian Crystal Table Lamp. All digital downloads just $3. And check out my Amazon page where you can pick up my Your House a Home metallic multi-surface acrylic paint with 8 beautiful shimmering colors. You can mix millions of colors and create endless home beauty for indoor and outdoor projects. And from Amazon, pick up my Book of Elegant Home Crafts Volume 1 with all your favorite projects together in one big beautiful colored step-by-step instruction book. On my Amazon page, you'll see all my favorite crafting tools and supplies used on this show, and you can add them all to your cart for the one-click, fast and easy shopping and delivery convenience of Amazon. I'll be working every day to make crafting fun and easy for you. Follow me at Your House of Home and Your House of Home TV on all social media for extra home, food, and gardening tips.